Daar was nog nooit so 'n saak in ons land gewees nie. Dit is verregaande.
Zak just went berserk and started stabbing them. That was not how we planned to do it.
He was unconscious but still alive when they set the car on fire. And I know he fought every second to come home to me and my daughter.
Admitting what I had done and how sorry I am doesn't bring them back. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
Wel, hulle het ons lewe rond en al gemaak. Ek het in 4 jaar nog nooit gaan kry in hier skoopie. Ek kan jou nou vat, dan loop jy saam met my. Dan loop ons 'n president in. As hulle my sien, spoeg hulle my in my gesig. Daar loop daai moordenaar se ma. Sy het my nou die dag weer gesê, maar hulle kan my lewenslang tronk toe stuur. Maar ek gaan nooit in my lewe sê ek is skuldig aan hierdie goed waar ek nie skuldig is nie. Want dan gaan my kinders dink, ja, my ma is 'n moordenaar. Sy sê en ek is nie. Ek glo 100% in onskuld. Wat 'n ouer wil sy kind in die tronk hê?
I can honestly say I've spent the better part of 3 years numb. Zach and Cecilia and Miranda taught me a very hard lesson, that you can never look at somebody who has a good job and a house and a car and children in primary school and speak about God, and you can never know for sure that they're good people.
Two families on opposite sides of one of South Africa's most unique murder cases. It all began at the Kasana block of flats in Krugersdorp. 2 separate flats were home to maths teacher Miranda Steyn, her teenage children Leroux and Marcel, as well as Cecilia Steyn. In the late 2000s, they, along with Zach Valentine, his wife Michaela, and John Barnard, joined Ria Groenewald's Overcomers Through Christ Christian group.
Overcomers Through Christ, the first time I found out about them was approximately 2007. They used to come to the school, and then in recess time, in the hall, they used to sing songs and tell the people about Jesus Christ, win souls, and try and get the children involved.
In July 2012, tensions began to rise between Ria and Cecilia, who were involved in a romantic relationship. A new splinter group called Electus per Deus, or Chosen by God, was formed. According to court testimony, Cecilia was the group's leader.
I don't have an evil, well, I might have an evil twin, hang on.
It's Cecilia, sorry, I thought it was Celia.
No, it's Cecilia.
I miss our regular Tuesday walks. I miss asking you what to do. I miss the way you will tease me. I miss our late night Horlicks. Is my kind. So.
Daar sê ook in die tronk.
Daar het sy een van die gevonnisde mense se klere aan en hulle het haar klere aan. Sy was 'n gehoorsame kind en ek het nooit probleme met haar gehad nie. Cecilia het nie geleer nie. Sy het onderskeidings gekry. Sy was 'n baie goeie maat, nog steeds.
Die grootste fout wat sy gemaak het is toe sy met Ria deurmekaar.
I got to the point where I realized, but this is not about Christianity. This is not about Jesus. You know, it's not about saving souls. It was very dark. It felt evil, and so we left.
For me, it was just a general sense of unease. When you go to visit somebody's house, it's not socially acceptable to take them through to your bedroom. The way Leroux and Marcel, as I've previously said, would just go and sit on the floor, almost like obedient dogs or children. Cecilia's husband was never present during the conversations. I got the sense that he was afraid of her.
Now, working at the Cradle of Hope, Candice Ellison and her fiancé Jared Jackson were recovering from drug addiction in Krugersdorp. They were selling sweets to make a living when they met Cecilia Steyn.
She bought all the stock, all the chips and sweets and suckers and everything, no problem. And we thought we were very lucky that night. We'd met somebody we felt we'd met somebody that was kind.
The Electors Per Dias group, seemingly under instruction from Cecilia, started targeting members of the Overcomers Through Christ group. Slashed tires, fertilizer bombs, and threatening messages eventually led to the start of the 4-year killing spree. On July 26, 2012, 33-year-old Natasha Burger and her 66-year-old neighbor Joy Boonzaier were stabbed to death in their homes in Centurion.
Marinda, haar dogter, Zak en Michaela het toe eendag soontoe gery. Toe het hulle die tannie 'n briefie laat skryf wat sê Natasha kom sien my, dis dringend, tannie Joy. En Natasha by die huis kom die papiertjie op haar deur gekry en nog die kar se boot oopgelos, dadelik na tannie Joy toe geloop want sy het nie geweet wat is die probleem nie. Met die inkom glo ek hulle het haar met 'n hamer gekap. Die aanval was so wreedaardig en vinnig geweest dat sy het nog met die papiertjie in haar hand gelê met haar oë oop.
On August 13, 2012, Pastor Reginald Mendixon from the Overcomers Through Christ group was killed in his home in Honeydew.
He made her a very bitter person, yes.
So he had to be killed?
I decided so, yes. I wanted also to feel what it feels like to kill someone, and I wanted to kill him.
Dressed in police uniform and disguises, Marinda, Zach and Marcel entered Ben Dixon's home. Ben Dixon was hit with an axe before being stabbed to death.
Marcel het gestaan en kyk hoe hulle hom doodmaak. Sy was nie betrokke daarin nie, maar sy het gestaan en kyk.
It was an adrenaline rush to be there. It was scary but exciting at the same time. And to actually do it, I felt a release after doing it, like I've never felt before in my life.
Continued threats, including petrol bombs and cars covered in animal intestines, led to the Overcomers Through Christ group being dissolved. Michaela Valentine also wanted out, but her desire to leave cost her her life.
Before that day, Zak and I spoke, and he told me that she wants to go to the police and she's not happy. But even before that, he was not happy with her either because she was unfaithful to him. So the two of the things together, he felt that if he had to kill her, he would make a mess of it.
On October 4, 2012, 23-year-old Michaela Valentine was drugged by her own husband before being hit with a hammer and stabbed more than 60 times. With the Overcomers Through Christ group dissolved and any threat of someone going to the police gone, the group soon found themselves battling another problem.
Cecilia se man het gewerk, so daar is kos gekoop en Marinda kon met haar skoolsalaris kon sy voorsien het. Maar as gevolg van Cecilia se lewenstyl en al haar siektes en sielkundiges, hulle sou moes aanhou met die moorde.
On November 27, 2012, Peter and Joan Meyer were lured to a business meeting at their home.
The plan was to rob them and bind them and put them in the pool. The pool didn't have water in it before. So at a point when everybody was comfortable sitting and talking, I said, this is not going to work for me. And I took out the gun and I said, lie down. And we bound them between Zak and I, between us, we bound them with a cable ties. But he started acting weird. Zak just went berserk and he started stabbing them. And I basically went into shock because that was not how we planned to do it, and we didn't know where the money was yet.
With Zach Valentine having worked at Discovery Life, a plan was made to fake his death in order to cash out a just over 3.5 million rand life insurance policy. The only obstacle, who would be used as Zach's body double.
On the 16th of December, he went out in the morning, and then he came back, and he was in a good mood. Things were going well for us at that stage. Things were looking up. And he kind of very casually said, yeah, I bumped into Cecilia and Zach, and they asked if I could help them later on this afternoon. And I went, oh, all right, help them with what? And he went, I don't know, they just asked me for help.
Do you mind if I just refer to him as Zach?
Yes.
passed away on the 16th of December last year in Krugersdorp in the Free State from a car accident. The car burnt.
Yes.
Is that right?
The day before, he left to go fly fishing in Clarence.
Okay.
So he left. Now he left here at about 6. So we took it like 4 hours later. He should be there.
I had a sick feeling in my chest, and I watched the sunrise the next morning, heard the birds singing, and he still wasn't home. And I started SMSing Cecilia. She's the only person whose number I had. Please, can you send me Zach's number? Jared's not home. I just want to know what's going on. And she didn't respond.
44-year-old Jared Jackson was drugged, strangled by LaRue Steyn before being left to burn in a car next to the road in Krugersdorp in the Free State.
Cecilia was in tears. I was absolutely horrified. And I went, and Jared, where's Jared? And she went, no, Zach was on his own. Jared never came. And after, I think about the 3rd or 4th day, I kept going back there to see if she'd heard any news. And she finally said, you know what, Jared's probably left you for another woman, just get over it.
And they say the body was then taken to... It was Bethlehem, hey?
Yes, that's the closest he lived.
According to authorities, a dodgy deal was made, a morgue official forged a signature, and the death certificate for Zach Valentine was later issued. In the meantime, Zach Valentine went into hiding. But unfortunately for the group, authorities were onto them and the policy was never paid out. The group resorted back to their old ways. On January 27, 2016, 57-year-old tax consultant Glenn McGregor was killed at his home around Randfontein. 60-year-old insurance broker Anthony Schofield was killed on May 10, 2016. Father-to-be Kevin McAlpine was killed on May 26, 2016. On May 30, 2016, Johanna Laatgan was the group's last victim. The last 3 victims were all killed in an apartment at Kosana Flats before their bodies were thrown into the boots of different cars. The cars would then either be abandoned at a random location or the victim's body dumped next to the side of the road. It all came crumbling down for the group one night in May of 2016. A CCTV camera close to the local spa captured 2 teens in balaclavas withdrawing money from one of the deceased's bank accounts.
Kolonel Gert Kruger het die kinders op Facebook ook opgespoor. Toe het hy dit vir Amanda Steenkamp gee, 'n vroue adjudant wat gesigsamestellings doen, en toe het sy hulle 100% presies gelink en gesê dit is die 2 persone wat die geld getrek het.
Within a few weeks, all of the other suspects were arrested. Having allegedly had an affair with Cecilia, Marinda Steyn drew up a new will, leaving everything in her possession to Cecilia Steyn.
Toe hy dit lees, was hy baie ontsteld. Hy het gehuil, trane het afgeloop by sy wang en sy lip het so begin bewe, seker maar van kwaadheid. Maar toe het hy besluit nie, hy gaan nou die waarheid praat.
LaRue gave a new version explaining all the details of the horrific killing spree.
As gevolg van daai testament het LaRue vir my gesê, ja, hulle die mense vermoor in die woonstel. Toe na die woonstel toe gegaan. Ek het die ander 4 wapens goed binne in die woonstel gekry. Daar was baie vlakke op die mat. En dis toe ek die forensiese mense gekry het om die bloedstaar te kom spuit. En daar het ons Schofield se bloed gekry saam met LaRue se.
John Barnard, Marinda Steyn and LaRue Steyn are all currently serving various sentences ranging from 20 years to more than 11 life sentences. While the remaining 3 are said to be sentenced on August 12, 2019, they were found guilty on charges including murder, fraud and intimidation.
I know that me testifying and telling the truth and admitting what I had done and how sorry I am doesn't bring them back. And I realized that it doesn't take the pain away, and that you're gonna walk with that for the rest of your life, and I contributed to that. And all I can say is I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.